In the small, forgotten town of Ravenswood, whispers of the supernatural were as common as the wind rustling through the ancient trees. It was a place where the past lingered heavily, and where legends were born from the dark corners of reality. One such legend was that of the Hollow Man, a figure said to appear in the dead of night wandering the fog-laden streets. His presence was heralded by an eerie, echoing whisper that seemed to come from nowhere and everywhere at once. Those who heard it claimed it was the souls of the damned warning of his approach. Elena, a skeptical young woman, had just moved to Ravenswood to take care of her ailing grandmother. She had heard the tales but dismissed them as mere folklore. One chilly autumn night, as she was returning from the grocery store, she noticed the fog growing thicker, swallowing the moonlight and casting the town into an unnatural gloom. As she walked down the deserted streets, she felt a chill that had nothing to do with the temperature. Then she heard it, a whisper, barely audible, yet clear enough to send shivers down her spine. She quickened her pace, her footsteps echoing eerily in the silence. Turning a corner, she saw a figure in the distance. At first she thought it was a man, but as she drew nearer, she realized there was something profoundly wrong. The figure was tall and gaunt, with limbs that seemed unnaturally elongated. His face was hidden in shadow, but the hollow sockets where eyes should have been glowed faintly with an unsettling light. Elena's heart pounded in her chest as the figure turned towards her, its mouth stretching into a grotesque grin. The whisper grew louder, forming words she could barely comprehend. "Join us," it said in a voice that was both many and one. "Join us in the hollow." Terrified, she turned and ran, the fog seeming to claw at her, slowing her escape. She could feel the Hollow Man behind her, his presence like a black hole, pulling at her very soul. She reached her grandmother's house, slamming the door shut and locking it behind her. Panting and trembling, she peered through the window. The fog had cleared, and the streets were empty once more. But she knew, deep in her bones, that the Hollow Man was real, and that he would come again. From that night on, Elena never walked alone after dark. The whispers of Ravenswood had become all too real, and the legend of the Hollow Man was no longer just a story, it was a warning. And she knew that one day he would return, and she would not be able to escape.